Long ago, during a time of moral decay, a loving couple was hunted by their cruel ruler for defying village laws. Terrified, they hid in the basement of a wooden house. As footsteps approached, the man grabbed an axe, but was quickly overpowered and beaten by the ruler's men. The woman screamed helplessly as they dragged away her wounded husband. The man was tortured and later crucified high above the valley, left for the birds. Years later, a lone rider named Greider arrives on horseback at a remote village in the Austrian Alps. Curious villagers gather to see who he is. The town is ruled by an old, wealthy man, old Brenner, and his 6 tyrannical sons, Heinz, Hubert, Otto, Louis, Eddie, and Rudolf. When Heinz asks about his purpose, Greider introduces himself as a photographer seeking to spend the winter there. With a cold, steady gaze, he tosses a bag of coins as payment for his stay. To test if Greider is truly a photographer, the Brenner brothers make him demonstrate his skills. Since cameras are rare, the villagers gather to watch. The brothers show the photos to their father, Mr. Brenner, who, pleased with the payment, approves Greider's stay. Greider is then taken to stay with widow Gaderin for the winter. There, he witnesses the Brenner brothers' cruelty when one of them grabs Gaderin's daughter, Luzi, by the neck like an animal. After settling in, Greider hides a small bag in the stable, hinting he may have hidden motives. At dinner, it's revealed that Greider is an American who speaks German thanks to his mother. He says he came to capture winter landscapes for his photography album. When he asks about the men he met earlier, Gaderin explains they are Mr. Brenner's sons who rule the village and oppress its people. That night, Greider looks sadly at a photograph before bed. He then sees Luzi sneaking into the stable, where her fiancé Lukas is waiting. The two share a quiet, tense moment, their love overshadowed by fear of what the Brenners might do to them. The next day, Luzi, who has never seen a camera before, looks through Greider's photos, including one of him and his mother. When she asks about his father, Greider quietly says he died years ago. Greider offers to help with chores and spends the morning chopping wood. Later, he joins Luzi on a trip to the village for groceries. While she shops, he asks the store owners, Wharton and her husband, for nails and coffee, though his purpose for the nails remains unclear. They soon encounter the Brenner brothers. Otto Brenner approaches Luzi and offers Greider a drink, but Greider declines politely. The brothers' power over the village is so absolute that no one dares challenge them. As snow begins to fall, Luzi warns Greider to leave before the Brenners turn on him. He says nothing, determined to stay no matter what happens. In the following days, Greider roams the valley with his camera, capturing its cold beauty. His expression stays grim as he visits different places, including a giant crucifix standing in the valley's center. At church, he silently watches the priest from afar. When he returns home, he learns about Luzi's upcoming wedding and is asked to take a photo of her and Lukas as a gift. Though the request feels strange, he agrees and photographs the couple against the season's first snowfall. The old camera takes time to expose, so the pair must stand perfectly still. As winter deepens, the villagers begin dangerous logging work in the forest, joined by the Brenner brothers. One group sends logs sliding down a steep chute, while others wait below. The operation runs smoothly until one log gets stuck midway. When Eddie Brenner climbs up to check, the log suddenly comes loose, crushing him as it hurtles down, killing him instantly. The tolling of the bell spreads the news of Eddie's death, and the villagers, along with the cold and expressionless old Brenner, gather to mourn. The old man shows no tears, hardened by years of cruelty and power. As Eddie's body is carried home, Greider watches from afar on his horse, silent and distant. The next day, wedding preparations for Luzi continue, though both families seem burdened with unease. Gaderin shows Lukas's parents the photo of the couple, hoping to stop the wedding, but the priest insists it must go on, as ordered by Mr. Brenner. Devastated, Luzi begs Lukas to run away with her, but he refuses, unwilling to abandon their aging parents. The thought of marrying under the Brenners' control terrifies her, and she pleads with him to take action. After overhearing their conversation, Greider lies in bed, gripping a locket and burning with silent anger. The next morning, Rudolf Brenner goes hunting as part of his family's winter tradition. But his hunt ends abruptly when a strange noise startles the deer, making him stand and look for its source. A wooden rod studded with nails strikes Rudolf in the face, destroying his eyes and causing him to fall to his death. When he fails to return, old Brenner sends his remaining sons to search for him on the third day. Meanwhile, Greider quietly prepares to leave, packing his belongings. As he retrieves his hidden bag from the stable, it's revealed he has a gun, something forbidden to anyone but the Brenners. When Luzi questions him, Greider calmly says the brothers will come for him, then departs into the snow. Later, Rudolf's body is found, and the village bell tolls again. Old Brenner faces another son's death, this time with the priest by his side. Suspicion grows when a nail is discovered lodged in Rudolf's eye. The brothers immediately go to Luzi's home, but Greider, who recently bought nails at the inn, has vanished. The heavy snowfall erases all tracks, and despite the grim events, old Brenner orders the wedding to continue as planned. As the villagers head to the church for the wedding, Greider hides in a mountain shelter, armed and waiting. The strange tension surrounding the ceremony soon becomes clear. The Brenner family still upholds the medieval custom of prime noctis, the right of the rulers to sleep with every bride on her wedding night. Even the village priest supports this cruelty. After the ceremony, while the villagers celebrate, Greider seizes his chance. He enters the empty church with his rifle and asks the priest to hear his confession. Inside the confessional, Greider admits to killing 2 of the Brenner brothers and shows the priest a locket containing a woman's photo. The sight of her face shocks the priest, bringing back memories from more than 20 years earlier, when he sided with evil and stayed silent. Back then, Greider's mother, Maria, had arrived in Brenner's Valley with her parents during a famine. Starving and desperate for shelter, they accepted Mr. Brenner's vile terms. They knew the fate that awaited their daughters but felt trapped, unable to leave with hunger closing in around them. When the dreaded day came, Mr. Brenner claimed his right and took Maria, the woman from the opening scene, on the eve of her wedding, violating her. That night, her husband Franz tried to save her. They escaped through a window and hid with the local innkeepers, paying them to keep quiet. But the innkeepers betrayed them for more money, revealing their location to Brenner and his men. The punishment was brutal and public, meant to scare anyone who might resist Brenner's power. Franz was nailed to a massive crucifix, but during a brief distraction, Maria kicked Brenner's horse, knocking him down. She used the moment to flee the valley and eventually reached America. Her parents were executed, and Franz was left hanging until his body was unrecognizable. Now, the priest realizes the cost of his silence as Greider, the son of Maria and Franz, has returned for vengeance. Meanwhile, at Luzi's wedding, only the Brenners truly celebrate. Though Lukas is present, it's the brothers who dance with the bride. When Lukas tries to protect her, he's beaten down. As the brothers escort Luzi away afterward, they come face to face with Greider, armed and ready, demanding her release. With Greider's gun aimed at Hans, the Brenner brothers have no choice but to submit, shocked that anyone outside their family possesses a weapon. Following his orders, Luzi breaks free and runs back into Lukas's arms. Greider then challenges the brothers to a duel at their farm the next day, the same place he used as shelter after Rudolf's death. After escorting Luzi home, Greider moves her family to Lukas's house for protection. Lukas is overjoyed to have his bride back, though his mother fears the Brenners' revenge. Greider reassures them, saying he alone will face the brothers, then leaves to settle an old score. He visits the innkeepers who once betrayed his mother for Brenner's money. Holding the husband at gunpoint, he throws a bag of coins at the wife and forces her to swallow them before ending their torment. Returning to his mountain cabin, Greider prepares for the coming fight. But at dawn, the Brenner brothers break the agreement and launch a surprise attack. Bullets tear through the cabin, yet Greider survives by taking cover in the basement and kills Louis Brenner in the chaos. A brutal gunfight breaks out, and Greider struggles against the remaining Brenner brothers. Armed with a Winchester repeating rifle, he gains the upper hand, while the brothers, using old side-by-side and breech-loading guns, fumble under pressure. With precision and skill, Greider methodically kills or disables the rest of them. His vengeance nearly complete, he rides to inform old Brenner of his son's deaths, only to face resistance from townsfolk still loyal to their master. As he approaches the Brenner estate, the blacksmith ambushes him with an iron log hook. Before Greider can react, Lukas intervenes and shoots the blacksmith, saving him. Though alive, Greider suffers a shoulder wound from the attack. Driven by fury, he storms into old Brenner's house and finds him bedridden. When Greider throws his locket onto the bed, Brenner immediately recognizes it and realizes the man before him is Maria's son, born from the assault he committed 20 years earlier. When Brenner asks about his sons, Greider coldly replies that they're all dead. The old man then mutters that Greider has killed his own half-brothers. Accepting his fate, Brenner asks for a quick death, and Greider grants it with a single shot to the heart. After killing his father, Greider takes shelter at Luzi's house, where she tends to his wounds. The harsh winter slows his recovery, but after 3 weeks he finally heals as spring approaches. Meanwhile, some villagers demand punishment for Greider, as many are tied to the Brenner family through blood or loyalty. But when spring arrives, Greider quietly leaves the valley the same way he came. Before departing, he looks back one last time at Luzi and her family, knowing he will never return. With the Brenners gone, life in the valley begins to change. The darkness that ruled for decades fades, and Greider's revenge becomes more than personal. It becomes justice for everyone who once suffered under the Brenners' reign. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.